Short on time? We've got you covered. Welcome to the 5-Minute Torah, where you can digest big thoughts on the weekly Torah portion in about 5 minutes. If you enjoy this teaching, please share it with your family and friends.
Parshat Maseh, this week's Torah reading, Numbers 33:1 through 36:13, the butterfly effect. When the children of Israel were about to cross over the Jordan and conquer Canaan, the tribes of Gad, Reuven, and the half-tribe of Manasseh petitioned Moses to remain on the east side of the Jordan so they could begin settling into their inheritance. Rather than continue the conquest along with the other tribes, they found that they desired land fitting for their cattle and wanted to settle down. They wanted to finally start putting down some roots after 40 years of living a nomadic life. But their plan wasn't in alignment with God's plan. What was so bad about their proposition? We find out in a rebuke from Moses. Why will you discourage the heart of the people of Israel from going over into the land that the Lord has given them? Your fathers did this when I sent them from Kadesh Barnea to see the land. And behold, you have risen in your father's place, a brood of sinful men, to increase still more the fierce anger of the Lord against Israel. For if you turn away from following him, you will again abandon them in the wilderness, and you will destroy all this people. Numbers 32:7 and 8, 14 through 15. To the modern reader, Moses sounds like he's making a big deal out of nothing. But maybe more is going on than we realize. You've probably heard about the butterfly effect. It's a scientific theory that speculates that the flapping wings of a single butterfly in one part of the world actually has the power to affect the weather in another part over time. In other words, a seemingly small and trivial action has the potential to cause astronomical and often unanticipated results. Midrash Rabbah in Leviticus Rabbah 4:6 has a story where a small boat with a few passengers take off across a lake. Once they're in the middle of the lake, one of the passengers takes out a hand drill and begins drilling a hole below his seat. Immediately, the other passengers chastise him for his foolish actions, but he objects. What does it concern you if I drill beneath my seat? Although the ramifications of the person drilling a hole in the boat are immediately evident, the point of this dramatic story is the same as with what is going on in our parsha. Remember, the children of Israel had been sentenced to 40 years of wandering through the wilderness in order that an entire generation would be eradicated simply because they slandered the land of promise and refused to enter it. See Numbers 14. Now, these tribes appear to be separating themselves from their brothers and once again refusing to cross over the Jordan in order to conquer the land promised to them. Although they didn't intend on harming their brothers, their actions nonetheless had the potential to hurt them. The other tribes were looking to them for leadership, and they were about to let them down. Once Moses corrected this confederacy of the 2.5 tribes, he gave them a stern warning that things would not bode well for them if they didn't live up to their obligations. He then gives them the famous quote, "But if you will not do so, behold, you have sinned against the Lord, and be sure your sin will find you out." Numbers 32:23. What does it mean that your sin will find you out? It means that our choices and our actions are never isolated events. They will always produce ripples in the pond that will rock another person's boat. It is a reminder of the butterfly effect. One person's actions have the potential to significantly impact another person, whether they intend on doing so or not. In other words, my choices affect more than just me. Even though the choice of these tribes seemed innocent, their subsequent actions had the potential to nearly decimate an entire nation. Most of Christianity emphasizes having a personal relationship with the Lord. But even though we may have a personal relationship, our relationship is not merely personal. We often fail to recognize that our actions affect others, whether we actually know about them or not. Judaism realizes this and emphasizes the communal aspect of faith and action. What we do individually, even privately, has the potential to affect others. It's a flap of the wing or a ripple on the water. Just like the tribes of Gad, Reuven, and Manasseh, our faithfulness or unfaithfulness isn't just a private matter. It can make or break others, particularly those who are dependent upon us or who are looking to us for leadership. Let's remember to make every action intentional so that the kingdom is built up through us rather than damaged by us.
Are you enjoying the 5-Minute Torah podcast? Want to share these 5 minutes of Torah with others? Please help spread the word by liking, sharing, and reviewing this podcast. You can also grab the printed version of Volume 1 or Volume 2 from Amazon. Perfect as a gift or for your Shabbat table. 5-Minute Torah. We've got you covered.